I'm gonna record for the third time. It's gonna be a charm. It's gonna be a charm. Record it for the third time. It's gonna be a charm. Peace, everyone who comes to see this in the future. So, where am I? This here another video, another presentation. But here today, this will be a quick demonstration. The download's been heavy. Shout out to everybody that's been holding in, locking down, feeling the downloads, the weights, the energy coming through. Um, Man, I just been thinking of stuff like, yo, ain't even thought of. Well, let me just be that brave soul to, put the one step forward and just see where it goes from here. Um, and to see how it happens, see what it does. But I feel it's major. I feel excited, but also very kind of scared. Well, not scared, but like nervous. I shouldn't be, but ain't anything but a chicken wing, man. So, um, might not be a thing but a cauliflower wing, depending on what you like to eat. But I'm gonna just get on right into this little quick presentation, little demonstration. Yeah, boom. Yeah, share. Come right here. Boom. Let's hit play. Continue to share. Boom. So Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, however you say it. Pardon me if I say it wrong. All respect though, all do, a royal companionship and union. This is from my new train of thought, new school. I don't even know what you want to call it, my new look. It's just it's coming. It's one of the clips that's being unloaded. You feel me? Do like astrology. So we just looking at the love and relationship axis. Part one, a royal case study. So we're going to be looking at where the conscious wants, needs, and desires meet the deeper intuitive true longing and needs. How does the conscious act out the things are unconscious or even deeper subconscious before we get clarity? I said a while like, oh, okay, I get that now. I didn't know why I didn't see that, was feeling that or this and that, but I kind of see it now. So, you know, trying to close the gap on that lag. So we'll also be showing how when two people are in flow consciously, unconsciously, how companionship and matrimony flourishes. But it's also going to be, for yourself. I'm even looking at this for myself too, testing and just looking at things. And also now looking to just do some examples or maybe like a demonstration of each different thing that I have, kind of bits by bit. So here we just be looking at sect and the personal charts and how that works together, and looking at the fifth and seventh house cusp, plus the rulers. All right, so let's get into all about Meghan. Sect, conscious, verse, unconscious. In our conscious chart, she has a nocturnal chart. For those that don't know, they're just kind of getting into it. That's when the sun is below her horizon. Um, when the sun's above, it's a day chart. When the sun's below, we can't see it. It's a night chart. To be quick, plain, simple, and easy without having to do that. So Megan's fifth house cusp is in Scorpio at 17 degrees, 19 minutes. That is ruled by Mars, which is in its fall because it's exalted in Capricorn. And then Mars is at 11 degrees, 26 minutes in the 12th house. Right? The house of self-undoing. Right, seventh house cusp, Capricorn, 24 degrees, 17 minutes. That ruler for that is Saturn, and exalted at 5 degrees, 51 minutes, and Libra in the second house. So, looking at the fifth house cusp, Scorpio, you're thinking kind of deep transformation. Just want to feel it all, see it all. Kind of like a alchemical love type thing, or just really loves children. Just different type things for the fifth house. Seventh house cusp, that's maybe someone older, or a father figure or public figure like that. So it kind of makes sense for that. With that Saturn being exalted, that's even another thing, but we're not gonna get to all that. So second nature, the fifth and seventh house rulers. Mars is above, Saturn is below. And it's kind of interesting too that her fifth and seventh house cusp are both ruled by malefics, one in its fall, one's exalted. All right. The nature and elements of the fifth and seventh house cusp, plus those rulers. right? And the dispositor, fifth house, because Scorpio, fixed water, Mars in Cancer, cardinal water. The dispositing for that Mars in Cancer is Luna. Luna's in Libra, cardinal air. Then you go on to the seventh house cusp in Capricorn. That's a cardinal earth. Saturn and Libra, cardinal air. So that's some balance, earth and air, both cardinal, kind of enterprising there, moving forward. Seventh house, dispositor Venus is in the third house, which she's in judgment and in her fall. Mutable earth sign, though, right? Okay, aspects made by her fifth and seventh house rulers. Fifth house ruler Mars is sextile Venus and square Jupiter. Seventh house ruler Saturn is conjunct Moon plus Jupiter and is in a weak square with Mars. So that's interesting. When you look at anything, it's all kind of interesting. So, with that Mars and Saturn there. So now let's step into the unconscious light, explaining and revealing what the conscious mind can't explain or comprehend, right? So going into this unconscious chart, she has a diurnal chart. Now we in the day, right? So now going to her fifth house cusp is now on Capricorn. Coming back to Saturn ruling that seventh to make that combo. The rule of Saturn here is at 3 degrees 47 Libra, retrograde in the second house. The seventh house cusp is on Pisces. Ruling that is Jupiter at 1 degrees 13 minutes, also in Libra, also retrograde in the second house. Ooh, well, would you look at that, right? So now her conscious chart, her fifth and seventh house cusp rulers were in a weak square. One was exalted, the other fall, right? So now here Saturn still exalted Jupiter and Libra. I'm gonna have to look to see if there's some other dignity for it, but once again, some help of the good Jupiter there. So the second nature of the fifth and seventh house rulers, the fifth ruler below the horizon, the seventh house rulers also below. All right. So more kind of intuitive rather than kind of expressive when it comes to this unconscious chart and our fifth and seventh house, love interests or whatever you want to do, and partnerships or business or sharing, those different types of things. So cardinal earth, cardinal air, then we got seventh house cusp, mutable water, the ruler Jupiter's, and cardinal air. So that's 3 cardinals and a mutable. Aspects made by the fifth and seventh house rulers. Fifth and seventh house rulers are conjunct. Venus ruling over that. Once again, so right, that Libra energy. Jupiter's ruling over itself. No, I got that wrong. Yeah, Jupiter and Saturn is in Libra in this one. So Venusian ruled again. Conscious chart, Venus ruled over some things, and now here we are again with Venus ruling over this. So Venus ruling over the third and 10th houses in its unconscious and the fifth and seventh house rulers. Venus is at 21 degrees, 25 minutes, and ninth, dignified. She's feeling good. Unconsciously, she's great. Consciously, it might not be the best, or she might feel like she have to work harder, do more, but it's all good. That's how this kind of balance out. And it's part of this planet, including Chiron, Taurus, Stellium, this unconscious chart. Ooh. So Venus is in the earth sign for both the conscious and fallen judgment and unconscious. Taurus at home dignified. But would you look at that? But let's get going. Because admit, I still want to pull things up, but part 2, all about Harry. Let's get into his sect, conscious and unconscious. All right, so for the conscious chart, diurnal, sun above the horizon. Yeah. Right, so his fifth house, cuz 6 degrees, 33 minutes Gemini, ruling Mercury, 5 degrees, 12 minutes, and Virgo in the 8th house, exalted and at home. Woo! 7th house, cuz 11 degrees, 21 minutes, Cancer, the ruler Luna, the moon at 21 degrees, 20 minutes. And Taurus in the 4th house, so exalted. Wow. An exalted Mercury and an exalted moon for his 5th and 7th house. The sect nature of the house cusp rulers. Fifth, above the horizon. Seventh, below the horizon. Man, the nature and elements of the house cusp plus the rulers. Fifth house, we know Gemini is mutable air. The ruler Mercury, mutable earth. Seventh house, Cancer is cardinal water. Ruler moon, Taurus, fixed earth. So to earth, air, and water. I like the balance. I like how I do. Aspects made by the fifth and seventh house rulers. The fifth house cusp ruler Mercury, square Chiron, trine Jupiter, and also square Uranus. Seventh house cusp ruler Moon, trine Sol. So the fifth and seventh house expositors, Mercury's good for himself. Venus ruling the Taurus Moon. Venus is dignified in Libra. Interesting. Let's keep going. So now for the unconscious chart, it's nocturnal, right? Below. So once again, another kind of balance between conscious expression and what's unconscious, what's kept, what's more intuitive. Fifth house cusp on Gemini, Mercury's at 16 degrees, Gemini. So the conscious, exalted, and at home in Virgo. Unconscious now, in Gemini. So once again, we're having a kind of a repeat here of the fifth and seventh house cusps. Being on Gemini and Cancer. So now we've got Mercury and Moon, but this time now Moon is detriment. She's not away from home. She's in Capricorn. So the sig nature of the cusp. Ruler's fifth, below horizon. Seventh, also below the horizon. The nature and elements of the cusp and rulers. Fifth, Gemini, mutable air. Ruler, Mercury, Gemini, mutable air. Cancer, cardinal water. Ruler moon in Capricorn, cardinal earth. Look at that. Balancing out there. Seventh house final spot decided in Scorpio, retrograde, fixed water. And man, oh man, I'm supposed to leave that out. Oh my gosh. Anyways, Harry's got a sun, Venus, Kazumi, and Gemini. Woo, will by dignified Mercury and Gemini. But a retrograde Jupiter ascending in the fall of Capricorn. Let's go. Let's do a little bit of conscious synastry. I don't know how far I got into this foundational structure. So looking at the conscious versus unconscious placements, looking at Harry's and Meghan's fifth and seventh house cusp plus rulers, and reviewing their personal sect plus how they work together and any aspects of critical points made, planets touching major angles. Honestly, I'm gonna keep it a whole infinity +2. I don't think I made it all the way there, so it might have to be a part 2, maybe. So the fifth and seventh house cusp plus the rulers. Meghan's conscious. Fifth house was in Scorpio, if you remember, and the unconscious in Capricorn. So the thing of deep emotional connection, creative depth, and with that seventh house being Capricorn, long-term stability. And now that seventh house, Capricorn, and the conscious is moving into the fifth and the unconscious. So what's that double dose of that Capricorn energy? And now her seventh is also water as well. So it's a water and earth balance. Pretty dope. Serious restricted maybe early in the love life. I don't know. I don't keep look. I'm just get a ping, scratch what I scratch and go in with it, right? So seventh Pisces, a spiritual partnership that makes one surrender. Harry's conscious. As I said earlier, it's clear, in both conscious and unconscious, with Mercury and Cancer. You can think about communications, home life, and short travels without really getting into it. Feels like home, caring like mother. Unconscious, that's understanding without having to say, and maybe it's also deep ancestral, some kind of family ties. Now, Meghan's conscious fifth and seventh cups is fixed water and cardinal earth. Harry's is mutable air and cardinal water. Too bad. Unconscious cardinal earth, mutable water. Harry's just stays the same regardless. The set comparison, Meghan's conscious, unconscious sex goes nocturnal diurnal. Aries goes diurnal nocturnal. So we see another kind of mirror. Meghan's conscious chart, her sect, for the nocturnal, 3 out of 4 was below the horizon. Harry's conscious chart was diurnal with sun, so everything was above the horizon. So Megan's got the Libra moon, the Virgo and Mars, the Mars and Cancer, Saturn, Libra. Aries conscious chart, Sun and Virgo. Got that Jupiter and Capricorn, Saturn and Scorpio, Mars and Sag. Interesting. So Megan's unconscious chart sec is diurnal. Harry's unconscious, nocturnal. She's got 2 above, 2 below. Harry's got 2 above, 2 below. Like I like that. How they balance 2 above, 2 below, 2 above, 2 below. Megan's got that Sun in Taurus. Harry's got that Sun in Capricorn. So boom. Look at how that's a solar lunar trine, right? Jupiter in Libra, Mars in Libra, Mars in Taurus. So kind of going through that. Let's see. Bam. Get out the share, but that was just a little quick demonstration without, I guess, really trying to give too much, do too much, put too much out there. Um, I don't know. I don't even know if I even want to post this. I might just keep this video just to me. Who knows? Who knows? Or I can keep this, make a couple short clips, and you know. But if I decide to post tonight, you already know it's already one take. But 5th and 7th house cusp rulers, even looking at the dispositors and those aspects. Maybe at some point get into like the 9th house, looking at that ruler, that house cusp ruler. You want to get into what is like the harmonics and what is it called? That too. I can't think of what I know what it is. Anyways, quick little video. That's that, and I'm out. Peace.